YouTube, we are in the top 8, and we're going to start this off with first turn kill Gimmick Puppet against Labyrinth. So I know you're going to have to tell me, which one do you hate more? You hate Labyrinth or first turn kills? Because both are now clashing. Only one will survive. They're going to knock each other out. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos. I appreciate that greatly. Let's start this off with Gimmick Puppet going first as a first turn kill. What can they do here? How do we first turn kill? The fields, that's it. One field spell, first turn kill. Okay, let's see. We do have disruption. We do. And this protects you from just monster effects. Gimmick Puppets you control cannot be affected by activated monster effects. The Arius can set the Daruma Cannon, which could flip the entire field face down, so no first turn kill. We're gonna grab the Little Soldiers, which is part of us first turn killing. Send from the deck the Rogue Doll, which adds back to the hand, which then summons itself from the hand, then summons a monster from the deck. That's gonna be the Scream, the Cattle Scream, as we then turn the Little Soldier and the Cattle Scream into the Machinix. This needs to be activatable in an open game state. It does not trigger. So if you wanted to flip them down, we could have done that right here, right now. We're going to rank up magic into the Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strings. Mandatory activation. Because this is a mandatory activation, it's a good idea to summon it on your opponent's field. It then mandatory activates, and then if you play Triple Tactics Thrust or Talent, thank you, you just activated a monster effect. We're gonna be reborning the Cattle Scream from the grave, and now we're gonna flip that field face down. The newly set Daruma is activatable the turn it's set, and we have no protection from it. Now we could detach a material to summon the Machinix onto your side of the field. We're now going to Condolence Puppet, send from the deck one card. That's gonna be the Fiendish Knight. Fiendish Knight's gonna add from the graveyard back to the hand. It's now gonna be reborning our Little Soldier plus summoning itself onto the field, as we now turn this into a Link to Gimmick Puppet Chimera Doll, which will search our deck for the Terror Baby, which we can additionally summon to reborn from the grave. We do not have we do have Little Soldier in the graveyard, that is, to banish to then boost up our monsters to level 8s to make our rank 8 Giant Grinder. With that, that will trigger the rank up in grave to add back to the hand. Giant Grinder is going to grind the opposing monster for 1500 damage as we rank this up into the Fanatics. That's going to be it. This is a double disruption. Fanatics will destroy a special summon monster, and the trap will be able to steal a monster. Is this the first turn kill? No. You stopped it, you got it, great. We're gonna detach, summon a body, pop that body, burn for half of its attack, and now to you. Now we are going to Stovey, set up the Welcome Labyrinth, or discard the Welcome to set up the Big Welcome. Double Called by the Grave. Big Welcome Labyrinth, chain the Maxi to it as we attempt to summon from the hand, deck, or grave. Arius is going to be triggering, and as we also Call by the Grave, finger that Maxi. We need the Arius to be the direct chain to that activation of a card chaining to our own card. As we are getting ready to pop the Gimmick Puppet Fanatics on special summon, we could choose to take out the Arius if we want to, or just leave it up. We have to wait for their trigger effects first before we want to trigger our own. We say no. I'm not going to pop your Arius. We don't care about it. Summon the Torby as we summon our Ariana. We're now going to turn this into a Chaos Angel. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Let's read this. It was summoned with a light and a dark, right? Why is it saying it incorrectly? Click it here. Okay, you saw me click it. It didn't show it. Was not summoned with the light. So it is affected by the Machinix. This is on special summon. You could then target and destroy. On summon, we're going to say goodbye to the field. So we did not do it. Why are we not doing it? I don't understand. If a monster special summon to your opponent's field, you could target one of them, destroy it, and inflict damage half of its original attack. Because we're going to take... I want it. It's mine. I'm going to take control of it. Now we're going to turn the Torby into the Typhon. And now we can't activate because we're over 3,000 attack. So we get spun back. Yeah, we just passed on using the effect the entire turn. We had no good opportunity to activate it. Can you Nibiru? No. Nibiru is illegal. Typhon says, I don't care where your 3,000 attack monster is, you can't activate it. Imperm off the top of the deck, Chimera doll. We're going to grab the Bisque doll, and then we could special summon if we want to. We're going to Terror Baby banish. And what just happened? You cannot respond to any of my gimmick puppets activating. A lot of them are not triggers. They need an open game state to activate. So you're going to have to, before they activate, start using your cards. Can't chain. Summon. Add back the rank up. Open game state. To battle, we are going to summon our Lovely from the deck. With our Lovely, we're still going in onto the Typhon. Why Typhon, no die? Because you didn't read the other card in the field, the other card being the Chaos Angel stating, monsters you control, it's not synchros. The other effect protects synchros from card effects. The dark effect is all monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So we got this floodgate on the field. Now, this card is weird. This card says, after ranking up, if any face-up cards are on the field other than this card and the monster summoned by it, negates. Woo, we full negating, mate. Giant Hunter is here. Negate the field. Negate, negate, negate. Our own cards are also negated, but we do have the big welcome to spin your monster back. You are negated. That's fine. We're going to still trigger the Chandelier and the Stovey. Chandelier, add back to the hand. Stovey. I was tripping over, like, do I call it Torby? Stovey onto the field. And now we can Puppet Strings, put a counter onto everything. Nope, we're negated. We're going to Scream, detach a material, come forth and summon from the grave. As we now, with the Rogue Doll being sent to the grave, it triggers to add back to the hand. Then we're going to summon itself plus a body from the deck. Dreary Doll and the Rogue Doll. Let's turn these into a Puppet of Strings. Puppet of Strings will put a counter onto everything. Now, if we summon a Dark Strings, everything dies. And we draw a card. And that's happening right now. Wipe the field and draw a card. Plus burn for 35, equal to the highest attack monster. As we then use the effect to put a gimmick string counter onto you. What just happened here? This was weird. We used the effect of Cattle Scream. This is why I like Gimmick Puppet. There's so much weird things with this deck. A Gimmick Puppet Exceeds with this as material gains the effect to target a monster in the opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field. You what, mate? And then we gave it a counter. And then we used the effect of Puppet Play, but not the turn it's sent to the graveyard. Only if it was already in the grave on a previous turn do you get to Reborn and Exceeds. This then activates again. It draws more than once per turn, it pops more than once per turn, and it burns more than once per turn for game. You fool! Gimmick Puppets are playing a different game here. It's crazy. It is crazy. Huh? Set 2 pass. Daruma and called by Daruma will flip the whole field face down. They're not going to be protected with a Bisque doll. They're not going to be protected with the field spell. Is a good way to just completely stop their turn. I was going to summon 2 bodies on the field here. Cattle Scream plus the Rogue Doll. A good time to flip them all down. Pass with 0 disruption from the field inherently. We do have our Ash Blossom at least, though. We did this off of the Arius, sure. What happened here? What? I don't, why in the main phase? Why did we do that? I don't understand. Why did that happen? Huh? This has to be main phase, that's why. Okay. It happened because it was the right thing to do. It gets hard punished by the triple tactics talent. That's the one reason why you would not do it. If they don't have it, then you do this. But how do you know that they have it? So we can't say, oh, wow, what a misplay. It just was really unfortunate. Would it have been better to still just do it during your own turn, I guess? So just wait. Well, if you waited, then Arius would get fingered. Do you want your Arius to get fingered? I don't think so. You wouldn't summon the Lovely. She'd be stuck in your hand. So this, and wait for them to set their finger, then summon it. There you go. Well, now, we have another Daruma since we recycled it. That's one of the good ways to continually plus with your lovely. We have the Terror Baby. This is where things get really scary. You cannot respond to the activation of our gimmick puppets, no matter where they are. Hand, field, grave, they activate. You ain't chaining, mate. Come forth. Fan to 6. Imperm negate. It needs to be activated in an open game state, so you do want to take advantage of that before it activates. You can't wait. As we Terror Baby Reborn, we're still going to detach, even though we are negated, to trigger the Rogue Doll to add back to the hand. Sure. As we now flip up the Little Soldier to make a Gigantes Doll, which will take control of the lovely. No, you won't. I'm going to flip the whole field face down. Now, Rogue Doll is going to summon itself, plus a body from the deck, and that's going to be our Little Soldiers. Little Soldier sending the Dreary Doll, which could reborn from the graveyard, as now make a giant grinder to step on that lovely. Stepping on the lovely by detaching material, as we then Dreary Doll banish the Rogue Doll to reborn from the grave. Now, we're not done. We're going into a Chimera Doll. Do you all understand that we're playing through a freaking Daruma? What? Did we get Impermed and Daruma'd? Imperm and Daruma, and we're playing through it. We're going to banish from the graveyard, change the levels of the monsters here to now make a gimmick puppet of string. Damn. 2-0 victory. Gimmick puppet advancing into the top 4, and I'm very much excited to watch that top 4 duel. Let's get to it. Voiceless Voice. We're going for that draw 2, the very first play we must make within the start of main phase 1. As the Droll now disallows us from further adding any more cards from the deck, we're going to look at your hand, spin back that Max C as I set up with my Low. Low setting up the Radiance. It's not a search, so activatable under Droll. We're going to be returning a card back to special summon our Sarvis. Sarvis could turn into the Skull Guardian, which will give us an Omni Negate. If we want to, we could have directly chained to the Shivara, as we chose to not do. Sure. Magna Hut banishing our Low to come forth and summon and search for a dragon within the end phase. Why didn't we activate Sarvis? I looked at their hand and they had Triple Tactics Talent, right? They had it. They didn't just draw it for the turn. Bro drew it. What the heck? How'd you know? All right. Pre-preparation off the top of our deck. We're going to get pre-prepping. Come to us. Prayers and our Skull Guardian. As we now ritual summon, tributing off the Maximus into our Skull Guardian. We don't have Low in the graveyard since we banished it, but we could search it instead. Search the Low to on-summon, set up into our back row. We got our Omni Negate. Voiceless is a slow burn. It's they're building up an impenetrable wall, and you just can't get through the Low because the Skull Guardian is negating and the barrier's making it untargetable. You can't even attack into her. Hard summoning our Phantom of Yubel. How do you imperm in Nibiru against a Phantom of Yubel? You have to imperm before Nibiruing since it jumps off the field and you are not able to negate it then. We instead chose to negate the D-Lotus before it summons from the deck, as we now have a Grave Scormer to reborn that D-Lotus to still summon. Imperm negating the Silhat Rabbit, which would negate an inherent special summon. Why do we really care about that? It doesn't stop a ritual summon. I don't think it even stops Sarvis, the non-ritual one. Doesn't that activate the summon? I have to read it again. It would stop a Link though. And yep, all right, sure. I think what we wanted to stop was the effect of popping our back row. We did not care about the Azure Rune. We didn't want our barriers and blessings to get destroyed. Off the top of the deck, we have our Ash Blossom. Barrier is here. Barrier come to us Low. Low activate, set up the trap. Trap, return a ritual spell from the hand to grab the Saphira. Saphira, discard, send a ritual spell from the deck, grab Skull Guardian, ritual summon it, wham bam, thank you ma'am. 2-0 victory. Very quick. Begin. Set 3 pass. We have Big Welcome, Imperm, and Dinomorphia Domain. So that is going to be a Floodgate, a Pop, and a Monster Negate. On top of that, We hit him with the Maxi, no special summoning for you, which they did have Bonfire to make plays with. We're going to preemptively negate the Arvata and then summon the Lady. With that, we're going to chain Big Welcome Labyrinth to summon from the deck, chaining also a Dinomorphia Domain. With the Domain, we have to go into Kentragina. We can't go straight into the Rex turn. With the Kentragina, we could copy the effect of the Domain Engrave, but it will be under the effect of Maxi, thus they will be drawing per special summon. That was a pretty good Maxi. Otherwise, we would have had the Lady, chain a trap to the Lady, set another trap from the deck. Kentragina would have summoned a Rex turn. Let's see what else is good. We do have to deal with the Arvata, thinking it negates, but it doesn't. There's no other fire monster to destroy. Smack him for 90. Kentragina is nice and small. We have Ariana grabbing another big welcome from the deck, activating the Lord of Heavenly Prison, protecting our set back row card from being destroyed, which is actually relevant against Fire King. They can make Phoenix to pop, they Kieran to pop. We have Snake Eye Ash on summon, activating to search the deck as the Kentragina goes into a Rex turn. Now, does the Rex turn negate? No. Nothing on Rex turn negates. The word negate is not on the card, mate. It states they cannot activate monsters that have an attack greater than or equal to your life points being 1550. So if it's already activated, it goes through, it's fine. Poplar, triggering, summon, it is less than 1550. It's fine to activate. Ash, again, activatable. It's under the life points. Flameburge cannot activate. It is too large. Now, what do you do when there's a large monster swinging into your Rex turn? Well, the effect of Rex turn that you have to deal with as the opposing player is that they could pay half their life points to reduce your attack or change your attack to be equal to your life points. It's going to make it nice and small. Summon from the deck of Ponix. Ponix, legally activatable. Grabbing a Skyburn. Now we got a problem. Rex turn is now dead. Rex term is going to reduce our life to change the attack of the Flameburge down to 775. Rex term will trigger to reborn from the graveyard. Garunix is also triggering to summon, to then pop a Kieran, to then pop a card in the field. Now the Lady's indestructible by card effects. As we reborn our Kentragina, Kieran trigger, this is it. Non-target goes for the Ariana. We're going to Flameburge, push the Kentragina back, at least attempt to do so, using Big Welcome. Not only chaining Maxi to this to draw per special summon, but also chain link blocking the Lady from setting a trap from the deck. No trap for you, no +1. Very important to understand chain link blocking the Lady. Return back the Kentragina, trigger the Lovely to pop a card on the field or in the hand. And what's really unfortunate here is in the TCG, it's not cheating. We could have blocked this. You could have used the Lovely on Chainlink 1, and then they go Arvata, and you go, no, calm down. I Chainlink block with Lord of Heavenly Prison. That works in TCG, not in Master Duel. Also, we could Chainlink block the Arvata had we had any of the furniture in our graveyard or a Welcome Labyrinth. So 3 missing cards in the grave could have protected from this happening. Lord of Heavenly, come forth. Setting up a trap trick. It's not activatable the turn it's set. Man, these Max C's, mate. We are negated. We pop the Alcanix, which triggers the summon of Garunix. He's scooping. It is too much. Way too much. This goes into Promethean, into Zelantis, into wipe up multiple cards, attack for over 10,000 damage. Let's hop into game 2. When one of Haas's cards get restricted, that's minus $3,000. I believe Haas probably had 2 or 3 Royal Shifters and now could only use 1. It's just like that sucks, man. Like the ban list is just minus 3K on every card. Let's go. Good shifted. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Maxi is illegal. Ash is not. Is 1-for-1 illegal? Can we still attempt to summon? Nope. Has to go to the graveyard. So you look for the colon, the semicolon. I'm good at finding the colon here. And then you just see from before then, is it activatable? So no. Let's look for the colon. Okay, has to go to the graveyard, so not activatable. Can't activate. Can't activate. What about the Maxi? Where's the colon? Colon found, graveyard before colon, can't activate. Let's look for Ash's colon. Well, she's fine. There's no mention of the cost being that it has to go to the grave. You could discard this card, colon, and then that's fine. So let's see what we can do from here. That's the answer. That we could do nothing. We could Ash the big welcome at least. Negate. D-Shifter buys you a turn. It does not win you the entire duel if you do not follow up with enough pressure, which we obviously are not doing here. Smack him with the Ecclesia, set up the Frenzy. Now we're free from the Shifter. We can use our original Sinful. We could use our 1-for-1. Ash is going to negate. We have cross out Designates. We're holding it. Okay. What are you normal summoning Maxi into an original Sinful? Yes, you are. And then cross out designating their Maxi? Yes, you are. Why didn't we negate Ash? It's so obvious on why we did not do it. It would have been such a massive mistake. You would be like, cross out, negate Ash, and never mind, I'm kidding. No, let me take that back, please. You negate yourself. And Ash is the #1 counter to this deck. It stops the Frenzy, it stops the big welcome. Why would you negate your own Ash? You wouldn't. Let's go. And because we didn't, we have that Ash ready for the Frenzy. Come forth, Ash. Ash, add our Poplar trigger. Come forth and summon. Trigger the Poplar, grab the Divine Temple, set up the Snake Eye Diablo Star, Frenzy. Well, I didn't negate my Ash, so I got you. Now, the Dogmatic Punishment is going to come in to pop 2 cards. 2-for-1 special. You send the Entis to pop something. Whoa, Garura instead of Entis? Interesting. Well, you know, I didn't want to get rid of body, just draw a card instead. Sure. Trap Trick. Are we going to regret that? Would Entis had been better? We're going to special summon the Snake Eye Diablo Star Poplar into a Linkuriboh. And now we get to make a dark. Like, look how desperate we are. Our goal is to make a Promethean Princess, which we can only get 2 bodies, and then the 3rd body's from your grave. So I think the Poplar being popped would have been important to do, right? Yep, gets yoinkin, and we made it. Promethean's the goal. We got to get Promethean out. So the question, oh, I see Dark in these extra decks. Should I play it? Well, do you want to summon Promethean? This is, I believe, a pure... No, this is the Snake Eye Fire King. A lot of Snake Eye Fire King players do not make room for Dark, and then you miss out on a play like this. Get Reborning. Oh, boy. Masquerena is here. As we further make plays of the Poplar, equipping the Snake Eye Diablo Star. To battle we go. Lethal damage. And just like that, Hostrachan, I appreciate you immensely. Thank you very much. I like your deck a lot. I'm going to build it. 60 card Dino Lab. Yes. Let's hop into another one. Are you ready, Gazelle? Come to us, Big Wing Baphomet. We are polymerizing the Baphomet to then search for an illusion. So we're going to reborn from the grave, search for an illusion, send from the deck. A lot of things we're doing here. Well, we didn't use the Baphomet to reborn. If sent, target illusion. There's no illusion in the grave to reborn. So that's why we didn't Baphomet activate. It's a beast, not an illusion. We do have the Mirror Sorting Grave, which is going to have the effect of if a monster is activated on the field, we can negate the effect, does not destroy, does not banish, just leaves it alone. We also have Impermanence, we also have Ash. So that is about triple disruption only. Not that crazy. It's 1 disrupt plus 2 hand traps. We do have Max C, which is going to be helping. We are using a good strategy here, and that is to protect your Max C with your Ash. Let them finger your Ash to protect your C. Taking control of the Baphomet, come forward Diablo Star, as we Imperm negate. So we did the finger check, didn't finger our Ash. We're now doing the cross out designate check. Is not crossing out our Imperm, so it is reasonable to believe our Maxi is safe to use. Except Cyburst did not want to finger that Ash. What is going on here? We got Dark. Dark activate Reborn. Now we max see it. Like, this has to go through. Of course it goes through. But it doesn't somehow. I ashed earlier, and you didn't finger it. Negate. Reborn from the grave. Give me your dark monster. Thank you for your the Baphomet. As we now Promethean Princess. Promethean, Reborn Garunix, pop from the deck, Volcanic, summon a level 8 from the deck. As we further turn this into a Hida. Hida, steal a fire monster from your grave. As we now make a zombie vampire. Yes, 8 plus 3 equals rank 8. As we mill 4 cards from both players. Thank you for the Oak randomly off the top of our deck. We're gonna send the zombie vampire for a Snake Eye Ash. Grab the Poplar. Poplar trigger, summon, Poplar grab, original Sinful. Link it off into the ban and the TCG Link Rebo. Equip the Poplar, send the Poplar, summon the Flameburge, equip the Poplar, send the Poplar, summon the Ponix, Fire King Sanctuary, set up the Fire King Island. Even search for Diablo-Star. Diablo-Star could send the Sanctuary. We're going to draw a card, return back the original Sinful. Pop the Diablo-Star, grab a Narvatsa. We haven't even normal summoned yet somehow. Making a Nightmare Phoenix, and there you go. 85, 50 damage. Lethal. What did you learn from this game? I feel like a lot of you would have made the mistake of fingering the Ash. You have to, if they activate a hand trap, you have a call by the grave, you have to stop. You have to look at your hand, field, graveyards, extra deck. Do I have lethal damage if I don't stop this hand trap? And that's what Cyburst did. Cyburst identified lethal damage. There's a lot of plays to get to lethal. So I don't know how much thinking we put into that. It was just like, all right, I could do this, and that, even if I get ashed, so I don't negate it. And if you all were to have negated the Ash, we would have been under a maxi situation, which could have just turned into a loss. It's a very small detail, but you have to learn it. Discard Imperm for the Nightmare Apprentice. Searching our deck for nothing as the Imperm negates. But we chain Chimera Fusion to dodge the Impermanence negates. Back on the field you go, and we are locked out of summoning non-fusions. We could not turn this into a Little Knight, which would have been great to do, and we lost our original Sinful from the hand. That's unfortunate. Let's talk about our disruptions here. We have the ability to, I think we're gonna try to fuse with Diabels to get her into the graveyard, and then we're gonna use the Chimera to banish this card, target Diabels to then reborn it, right? That's what I think we would do. So with the Chimera Fusion, I think we're gonna make a Chimera Guardian, which will pop multiple cards in the field, and then I think we're gonna reborn the Diabels, which will force us to set all our spell and trap cards before activating them, effectively turning off quick play spells and triggering her effect to pop a card in the field. So we'll count, her Floodgate plus her Disruption. And then we also have the Sword Knight, negate a monster on the field. We then, in the graveyard, have the Codal, negate an effect that targets. So I would say it's 1 Floodgate-ish effect and 4 other disruptions, plus the Ash Blossom, so 6. Let's see what we can do. Ash, Sword Knight, negate the effect, finger the Sword Knight to negate the negates. Yep, nothing we could do there. Negate. And you may be thinking you could DD Crow the Diabels. There's already a play around that. Let's see when we get to that. Poplar being added, come forth, and the Poplar had nothing to add. Looks like we're not playing the Snake Eye Temple. As Poplar triggers to equip itself, we send it to summon from the deck as the Ash negates 4 more disruptions. Well, Floodgate, Diabels, Chimera Fuse, and we do have Codal in the graveyard. Super conditional disrupts. We're going to pop to summon Kirin, and now we are going to do exactly what I was saying. Get Diabels and the Chimera in grave to summon the Magnum well, instead of a Guardian Chimera, that is. So it's another kind of disruption. We do have a DD Crow. Now, because we did not Chimera, the play I thought we were going to do is not going to be happening, and that would be by getting the Berfament in the graveyard, it will banish itself to then target the banished Yubels to get her onto the field. If we can get this into the grave, then that would be the play. Now, in response to any card activating, we could banish a Poly card, a Fusion card from the grave, to then pop a card, and we're going to take out that Link Rebo. Now, when would it be good to pop the Kirin instead? If you look at their graveyard and you see no Fire King monsters, because there's Ponix and only because of Ponix, was it not good to pop the Kirin? Otherwise, take out Kirin, not a big deal. Goodbye, Diabels. To battle we go. I could now summon Diabels if I'd like to. Damage that Ponix. Wipe out the Magnum with the effect of the Kirin. Searching for the Fire King Sanctuary. Shouldn't we quickly get Diabels out? Okay, so how does this work? Let me explain to you how this works. You would think that you could get Diabels out before the Sanctuary is searched. If you do that, you're cheating. So congratulations at cheating at your locals. This was a damage step. Because it was searched for in the damage step, on the resolution of the effect, we're in the damage step. So you would have to wait for an open game state to even activate. You can't respond to the resolution of the effect. And we're in main phase 2. So I get player priority. I get to activate the Sanctuary before you can even attempt to summon the Diabels. All right, pop it, grab the Garunix. But at the end of the battle phase, you're right. He could do that at the end of the battle phase. Why don't we do that, though? I don't know why we didn't do that. Why didn't we do that? Why not? Why not do that? Pop Arvata. Is summon Diabels just not good to stop? I mean, it would have stopped the Sanctuary, right? Someone find out why we didn't do it. Main phase only? Bro, what are you talking about? I think it is not main phase only. Opponent's turn. So the only opportunity to do this was end of the battle phase. Or your opponent's attempting to end the battle phase, or it is the end of the battle phase. As soon as we entered main phase 2, we couldn't do it. What? Not enough time? Saving her for next game? Okay, that makes sense. Steal the Ash. Sanctuary isn't a quick play, though. So let me tell you what will happen with the Diabels on why we should have summoned it. So this states, your opponent must set spell and trap cards before activating them. We summon this at the end of the battle phase. We then Sanctuary, set Sanctuary before activating it. Then we want to flip it up, right? But by setting it, you trigger the Diabels. If a set spell and trap card becomes, if a spell trap card becomes set while this card's in the monster zone, you can now target one card you control and that card, or any card you want, and destroy them. So you set Sanctuary, which triggers her effect to pop the Sanctuary, and then all of this did not happen then. No, did not use the effect already. And then we summoned the Chimera. Okay. He forgot maybe? Maybe. I guess so. Maybe that's what happened. Chimera Fusion, add back. Chimera Fusion, get Fusion. Fusing into a Chimera Illusion, which has the ability to double attack. The first attack will reduce their attack to 0, and the second attack will deal 31. Now, Arvata does not negate and destroy. It negates and then destroys your own card. So their card stays, the effect is negated, but we're now all within the damage step. Garunix, Kirin, Reborn, pop, the Illusion. Damn, what happened there? I think that the timer may have been really low, right? The Diabels at the end of the battle phase, I think would have won the entire duel. Well, we're now going into the top 4 as we're now going to be watching Gimmick, Puppet versus Voiceless Voice. They both 2-0'd their last opponents. And in the top 8, everyone 2-0'd. It was 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 into 2-0. Pot of E right away. Banishing 6 randomly. What you'd want to look for on the banish is multiple of the same name, and that's how you usually get screwed on your own Pot of E. To disrupt with this field, we have Ash Blossom on top of it to be able to pop 1 to 2 cards on the field, negate anything, negate a special summon. That is 4 disruptions. And what's great about this field is we put up a good field without having to summon a monster from the extra deck, which the Condolence Puppet will counter. It is per extra deck monster on the field that the opponent controls. Do we get to send an extra card from the deck to the grave and then super wombo combo them? Now, while we're untargetable, we are susceptible to Droplet. Droplet's one of the best counters here, straight up. If you had Super Poly, it would reborn from the deck still through the effect of the Ritual spell, so that wouldn't be good. Only does Droplet get through the barrier and the Ritual spell to negate that negate. But that's just one card that you're negating. They still have the Ash, the Trap, and the Sarvis monster. We could also negate that. Let's see what happens. We're going to Condolence Puppet, send it to the graveyard, or send the Terror Baby. 2 for 1 special. There we go. Negate the negates, negate the Sarvis. So our 4 disruptions now drop down to 2. 2 disruptions. And we sent from the deck to the grave the Fiendish Knight. Now we are in a situation. Ash is dead, effectively dead, only in response to a Gimmick Puppet effect. Because now, with the baby, it states that your opponent cannot chain anything in response to a Gimmick Puppet activating. We have the Little Soldier, send from the deck, the Rogue Doll. This is not even ashable, but this is what you want to ash. You want to ash the Rogue Doll, always. But we can't if they use the baby in the stroller. Can't even negate. We're going to summon from the deck the Cattle Scream plus summon. We're now going to rank 8 Xyz into the Machinix. This is your moments. They have to go into an open game state to even activate this. It's not a trigger effect. They're not protected by the baby. You got to pop them right now. Yep. Luke Tyler knows. He knows. We just have Ash left. Fiendish Knight, reborn the cattle to then summon itself onto the field from the hand and make another one. You got to ash this. Ash. You can't. The baby stroller. Now we're going to rank up into the Fanatics Machinix. This could be ashed. You wouldn't want to ash this anyway, but you can't. Grabbing the Puppet Play, Cattle, detach, reborn from the grave. Little Soldier, turn the level 4 into a level 8. Make another rank 8, which will trigger the in-grave rank up or the Machinix to grab back the rank up spell. Yep. Sarvis is negated, but adding back to the hand anyway. Sure. Negate. As we add back to turn a rank 8 into a rank 9. Puppet Strings is going to put a puppet counter onto everything, a string counter that is, as you now make a 9, which will destroy. Now, this is actually a situation. This is negated, but by destroying it with the Ritual spell in the grave, it's going to summon a new one from the deck that's not negated, and the Low's going to reborn from the grave. Now, that's 2 special summons for our Max C, and then they could ash our Max C because it's not a puppet card. So there's a lot of turning pieces here. Let's see what happens. Wipe it, as we also reborn the Machinix from the graveyard. We're also drawing a card off of this. And we're going to burn for 31. Wipe the field, 3,100 damage, trigger the Ritual spell, chain Max C, Ash Blossom, finally activatable on something, negate. And now we have to deal with the negate. But how do we negate if we can't chain to any of their card effects? So the negate doesn't even really matter. But they're still untargetable. We're going to put a puppet counter onto all of you, which you can't negate. We are going to rank this up into another Dark Strings. Well, wipe you again, burn for 2050, lethal damage. We drew 2, by the way. Do not forget about that. It draws multiple times. How is this card not a hard once per turn? It's not even new. It's an older one. draw multiple times, pop multiple times, burn multiple times, and still be able to attack. Ooh, Gursu and Gimmick Puppet. Please show me the way. This one field spell is an entire first turn kill if it goes undisrupted. Ash Blossom does help stop it. Even Impermanence could stop it. There's a lot of cards that stop it. Just do know it's one card for 8k damage. We are now setting this up as the Imperm negates the Skull Guardian from searching for a low. We have Sarvis to negate the targeting effect. Negate. Here's, the thing where you try to play around a card, but then you get hit by the other card. If you Ash the Voiceless, you play into a triple tactics talent, it feels bad. If you Imperm, you don't get fingered, you don't get triple tactics talented, but because we did not lead with Ash, we now get negated on a search that we very much wanted to stop. Well, we could use Ash against Low, right? Low does not search. Low sets up into the back row. Big problem. Oh my goodness, mate. What is this? Negate a spell, negate anything, pop up to 2 cards on the field. The monsters cannot be targeted by card effects whatsoever. The Blessing, if we get a ritual monster into our hand, could perform a ritual summon. I don't see how we're going to be doing that though. So, just 3 disruption. The Magna Hut could actually be really good. And I'll tell you when you should use your Magna Hut. I would say the best time to use your Bestial against this deck is this triggering Engrave. It's going to reborn and add back the rank up. And if you Bestial it, doesn't add back the rank up, doesn't summon, that I would say is big, big play. Setting up the mansion. We are going to negate the mansion just like that. Negate and destroy. It ain't happening. Interestingly, we did not use the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. Does this not negate the activation? When your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you get to negate the effect and then put this, so this would be a mistake. A huge mistake if you were to make this be the negate, because the field spell would remain face up with the other effects. Everything would be fine. Only if it negated the activation or all destroyed would this be a good negate. We're going to send from the deck a Rogue Doll with our little soldiers. We're banishing the Rogue Doll. This could be considered risky. The thing is, why are they sending Rogue Doll if they have a Rogue Doll in the hand? You would then lose to Rogue Doll in hand, where you could then use the Magna Hut on the Machine X. But, I mean, unless they're really baiting you, they're not really going to bait this because there are better cards to send. You would send the Baby in the Stroller. You would send the Bisque Doll instead. But again, there could have been a chance that they would maybe have a Rogue Doll or have other plays in the hand to brute force through that Bestial to still make the Machine X play. It don't matter though, we're going to game 3. Nicely done. Ooh, Luke. Big mistake. You opened up no hand traps against a first turn kill. Do we have a first turn kill? Let's times 2 it. Let's Condolence Puppet send from the deck the Bisque Doll. We are going to use the effect of the Fiendish Knight to add back. Well, we sent that from the deck to the grave, that is. Adding a rank up magic. We're going to rank up into our Machinix. Machinix will be searching for a trap here, as we now need to make a rank 8 exceed. So we're going to summon the Cattle Scream, use the Fiendish Knight to get another body on the field. We're going to be tribute summoning. That's interesting. For the Rogue Doll. Now that we finally made the other rank 8 exceeds, we could put a puppet counter onto the Machinix. Now, how could we have messed this up? If you summon the cattle before the strings, which you're going to want to, it's going to be glowing up. It's going to be asking you, come on, do it, do it, do it. No. You do not summon on their field, you make another rank 8, you put the counter on just this, and then you summon the cattle to their field. You do not want to put the string counter onto the cattle early. Now we're going to rank up into the Dark Strings. Dark Strings on summon is going to get poppin'. We're going to reborn the Machine X from the graveyard. There's also there's a lot of mistakes you can make with this deck. When the Strings was summoned, it was asking, would you like to summon Machine X from the graveyard? If you do that, you lose the first turn kill. If you activate this early, you lose the first turn kill. A lot of you lose the first turn kill if you do something wrong. detach, put a string counter on just the opponent's monster, not our own. Then we're gonna turn our own monster into a dark strings. And we're also drawing every time we dark strings. Pop, draw, burn for 2k, and now we're going to link 2. We still have our summon. We're gonna search and summon a rogue doll from the hand, and then normal summon the Terror Baby, reborn from the graveyard, our Fiendish Knight, as we then little soldier with the knives and the scissors and the saws. We're gonna turn it into another rank 8 Xyz. We messed up, okay? Where was the mess up? I'll tell you. The mess up was the baby was supposed to summon the dark strings, and then the little soldier was supposed to turn these into a rank 8 into the rank 9 play to pop it. But where did we mess up on the third rank up? I really want to figure this out here. What went wrong? Where was our third rank up? So our first activation, we made this. And then when you make strings, you should add back the rank up. We did that. And then when we activated it, so that's the second one. And then we add this back, return to the hand. And then the third one was activated on there. Okay, the problem is if you use your third, you had to get 2 of the Xyzs on their field. Your third rank up had to be, I'd have to double check. I'm pretty sure you had to summon the grinder. For sure, we had first turn kill on this hand. Let me see the opening hand again. This is, yeah, with the condolence, this could be a dreary. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This would be first turn kill. I would want to do it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega later. All right, let's pre-preparation. Okay, he sent Bisque instead of Dreary. He ran out of monsters. Right, I heard me say Dreary, yeah. That was the problem. I think you had to send Dreary. Yeah. He had Rogue, Cattle, and Condolence. So Cattle's a body, Rogue plus the body we summoned from the deck, and then the Rogue we would summon off the link 2. I think we had to send Dreary. Yeah, we messed up on the Condolence. Typhon is here. We're going to take control of the Typhon as we now Pendulum Graph search for a ritual spell within the end phase. Come to me. And I'll talk about how we could have avoided that potential mistake. As we now link 2 into the Gimmick Puppet Chimera doll. We're going to use the Rogue doll engrave and the Fiendish Knight to trigger engrave. Come back to me. Nibiru is there. Are you ready? The Rock. Terror Baby's going to make it so you cannot activate in response to any of my card effects. We're going to reborn the Cattle Scream, special, Chimera doll, search, and then special. Dreary doll, we're at 4. Giant grinder for game, that's it. You burn it, you win. Lethal damage, up to twice per turn, detach material, target the Xyz, inflict its original attack, but why does it say 4? Because it did not update yet, now it's at 5. Well, we are going to Nibiru! We can't Nibiru. Neither player could activate Nibiru because it has 3,000 or more attack. Oops! Can't Nibiru. 2-1 victory. Let's go. This is Snake Eye Fire King versus Snake Eye Fire King. We did see Yubel versus Snake Eye Fire King earlier, and Snake Eye Fire King crushed them. Begin. I think it's ridiculous how much Zombie Vampire is doing. To the point where, are you trying to get Zombie Vampire banned? What is this? It's crazy how much more plays this allows you to do. Now, what are our disruptions? 1, 2, 3 monster negates, plus the Ash and the Droll. And we have the Amble Whale, which will summon a Masquerena for a double banish. We then have Amble Whale when a Link 3 or lower is destroyed to pop a card in the field. We then have Promethean Princess. We have Kieran destroy a card in the field. And we have an 11th disruption with the Arvata. I don't have enough fingers. My toes up. Just know that. All right. 11. We're at 11. How do I show 11? I don't know. 11. Our King Island, pop Kieran, grab a Garunix. Arvata. Okay, now we're at 10. Thank you. We can't also negate the Garunix with the Arvata. I should say the Apollo, that is. We're going to droll. We're now down to 9. Okay, so we just used 2, down to 9. Summon Garunix. Garunix will be activating to pop from the deck. The Arvata. Arvata is going to activate to Reborn from the grave. And we are going to chain our Kieran, and we're going to trigger our Ponix. Okay, they're chaining. We're triggering. We're going to summon a Ponix. Pop in the Amble Whale. Amble Whale is going to Reborn the Masquerena and trigger the Garunix. Doing a lot of plays here. Ooh, we're getting fingered on the Amble Whale. So from 9 disruption with Amble Whale getting fingered, how many disruptions do you think we lost? From 9 down to 8, 7, 6. We have 6 disruption left. Garunix is going to pop Kieran. Kieran's going to Reborn the Arvata and pop a card. We're now down to 5. Parking Island, wiping out our entire field. And with 5 disruption left, we win. There you go. This is a big reason why hand traps should not be usable for the turn 1 player. How should they be allowed to max C, to Ash, to droll on top of what? They had 8 disruptions without the hand traps. They needed the extra 3. Volcanics versus no hand traps. Okay. Let's see how many disruptions we set up, plus our DD Crow. Do you see that Zombie Vampire gave us access to their Diablo Star, to our Snake Eye Ash, to add our Ash and Grave back to our hand off of the Zombie freaking Vampire? Flameburst being sent to the grave, triggering to Reborn. Insufficient space to record with my OBS. Ooh, we have 3 Apollo USA, DD Crow, Ash Blossom, Arvata, Amble Whale, Reborn Masquerena for a double banish. Amble Whale, pop a card in the field. We have Promethean in the grave for 10. And then we have the Garunix Kieran for 11. We also are at 11. 11, mate, 11. Wait, actually, we can't go into a Little Knight since we already did. So let's drop that down to 10. Yeah, we lost a disruption by making a Little Knight for no reason. What was that? Why did we use a Little Knight? 10 disruption because we used Little Knight early. Negate. Saved me a finger, thank you. As we now, Bonfire. Did we banish something good with the Little Knight? Yeah, I mean, it's like if they had a Garunix in the graveyard and you Little Knighted it, that would be kind of like a first turn kill. Negate with the Apollo USA. 1 for 1, discard some for the deck. I got Ash on top of my turn 1, mate. Negate. How fair is that? All right. Ban Ash, make a new one. DD Crow, banish the Poplar. Bunish. We're down to 6 disruption only. It's like they don't even make a dent in the in-engine disruption that we had from our regular play. Not like Apollo's engine, but what our main engine cards gave us. Our main engine gave us 8 disruption, and then we had 2 hand traps on top of that. Negate that Apollo mate. Pop the Amble Whale. I think you all know where this is going from here. Amble Whale, Reborn, the Promethean, Garunix, pop Volcanics, Promethean, Reborn, Flameburst, push you into the back row, inflict a nice old 10k plus damage. Let's go to game 3. Game 3, game 3. Volcanics, Ash, do we cross out Designate? We chain Kieran. The Volcanics is still negated. Pop Volcanics. Volcanics will summon a Garunix from the deck after being destroyed by Kieran. Do we max C? Yes, we do. We now max C into a Crossout Designate. Negate the max C, also triggering the Garunix. This would be an illegal play in the TCG. To do it in this chain order, that is. Sinful Spoils. We also have Apollo to negate the DD Crow. Draw. What the hell was that? Draw into Max C on top of 20 disruptions? I'm not counting their fields because we're not going to even get through half of the disruptions. Volcanics, negate with the Apollo mate. You know from game 1 and 2, all the similar disruptions I told you about, they're pretty much in play again. DD Crow. So we had an option here. We could protect the Kieran or protect the DD Crow. Or we could have done both. When the Apollo was negating Volcanics, we could have chained Kieran and chained DD Crow, and both of them would have not been negated. Instead, I don't know, I guess we maybe thought about it afterward, or we just decided we wanted them to negate the Kieran. Banish, the Garunix instead of the Promethean. They do play just one. One Garunix is now gone. End the turn with 20 other disruptions left. We even had, oh gosh. Stopping the Garunix was pretty good. It is time for the grand finale. Gimmick Puppet first turn kill in the grand finale. We are up against an impermanence. One imperm versus a first turn kill. Is this a first turn kill? The Rogue Doll is, I would say this is not a first turn kill. The Rogue Doll is not enough to kill. Let's go. Rogue Doll, summon the Little Soldiers. Little Soldiers, send from the deck the Cattle Scream. As we now make our Machinix. Machinix is going to be detaching, searching our deck for nothing as we get negated on the rank up search. We also lose the ability to additional normal summon, even though we did not use up our regular normal summon. Cattle Scream is going to detach Reborn from the grave here, as we trigger the effect of Rogue Doll when sent to the grave to add back to the hand, as we now link to it up. With the link to, we're going to be searching our deck for the Fiendish Knights, special summon the Bistal, end our turn. Dude set Crescendo, which does nothing. While you control an Orcus Link, negate the activation. Okay. And the field is no disruption. We do have Maxi and Nibiru. That's it. Poplar on summon, searching for the Divine Temple. Maxi right now into the Call of the Grave, fingering that C, negates. We're also going to add our own Maxi before our Maxi gets negated. Very smart. You do want to do this. So the lingering effect has been applied. This one has been negated. Our lingering effect does not get negated. So when the Nibiru is summoned, they're not going to draw one, they're going to draw 2 cards off of Nibiru. Maybe playing through Nibiru. Now we have to know that they have the ability to possibly brute force right through the Nibiru. We also have to be worried about one card here. That one card is summonable now. That card is the Apollo USA. This will negate Nibiru. We are on the 5th summon. Well, what's going on? What's going on? Uh-oh, Apollo is here. As the Poplar equips the Snake-Eyed Diablo-Star, Original Sinful, send the Arbata, summon from the deck a Ponix. Ponix triggering, grabbing the Fire King Sanctuary. Sanctuary replacing the Snake-Eye Temple with the Island. Island's going to be popping the Ponix, grabbing the Garunix. Come forth, Garunix. Garunix on summon, pop from the deck, Kieran. Kieran, activate, Reborn, the Arbata, take out the Crescendo, try to Nibiru as we Apollo USA negates. Well, We tricked them into popping Crescendo at least. To battle, we go. We could not lethal damage? Huh? Oh my goodness. And Crescendo's now searching. This costed us a Zealantis play. We could not Promethean, Reborn, Zealantis, wham bam, thank you ma'am. What the? Okay. Onyx add back during the standby phase of the triple tactics talent is not activatable. We still have 2 monster negates plus the Arvata. Okay, Garunix is not good on the field. This needs to be in the graveyard to have any relevant effect. So the Arvata popping it initially, it doesn't trigger. That's no bueno. We're gonna summon the Terror Baby. Target the little soldier to Reborn. Apollo, negate, and turn on my triple tactics talent. I am now going to take control of the Apollo, which will negate the Arvata. Pinning down Arvata with the Apollo as we summon a Dreary Doll with the Rogue Doll. Turning it into the Machinix. We really want to negate this. We're gonna trigger the Machinix in the graveyard to Reborn back on the field, which we then lose the ability to add a rank up spell. So I think that was, I don't know about that, doing that. As we then Arvata attempt to negate the search for a rank up as the stolen Apollo negates the negates. Come to us, rank up Chaos Force. Dreary Doll, banish from the grave, come forth and summon. This is level 4, so we're gonna use the little soldiers to turn it into a level 8. With that, we have the puppet strings. On summon, we would trigger the rank up to add back to the hand. I feel like we're doing things in a bit of a different order here. The Terror Baby is now gonna banish, so you cannot respond to our Gimmick Puppet activations. Turning this into a Dark Strings, we're going to destroy everything with a Gimmick Puppet counter, burn for 2,700, also draw a card, add back the Rogue Doll. To battle we go, and that's enough for lethal. That's it. That's it. Lethal damage. Crazy. What should have happened is the Gimmick Puppet player should have been thinking, I can't pop their fire monster. It's going to trigger Garunix Engrave to summon, pop a Kirin, summon a Fire King, pop a card. Because the Garunix was on the field, it changed everything. Let's see. Snake Eye Ash, add a Poplar. Poplar triggering to summon itself onto the field. We have Maxi, which will be negated by the Ash Blossom. Negate. Amblo Whale. Let's talk about what we have to play through here as we set up the Volcanics. Let's draw a card for our turn. Let's pause. Oh! Right onto the Apollo. Yes, right? So the Apollo was 3 negates, and now... Bro, what the hell top deck was that? That's crazy. So 0 disruption on the Apollo. We still have a Droll, an Ash. Ash on Condolence is GG in a lot of ways. We then have the Ambler Whale, which will Reborn the Masquerena for double disruption. And then we have the Ambler Whale pop a card in the field for a 5th disruption. We then have the Promethean for 6 disruption. 6, 6, 6. We don't have Garunix. We do. Garunix, and then we have 7 disruption. Do we have Arvata? No Arvata. We still have 7 disruption by negating the Apollo. Oh boy. Book of Eclipse. Oh! You had to negate the Condolence Puppet, mate! No way! Uh-oh. This is a problem. If you can't stop this, or the puppets that are sent to the grave, there is no way to stop Gimmick Puppet. You can't Promethean, you're not gonna be able to trigger your Garunix. Well, you could actually use the Flameburge, Reborn the Volcanics, pop. You have one hope, one cope. Because the puppets can't be targeted and you can't chain to them. So what's gonna happen is, you're gonna have to, on the resolution of a puppet, yeah, so right now, it's happening. It's happening. You cannot chain to puppets. No matter when they activate, you can't chain to them, no matter where they are. You cannot target the puppets on field. Untargetable, unchainable. Now, Kieran is our final cope. The Kieran will be summonable using the effect of the Garunix, and the Kieran is going to be non-target popping. You can non-target pop a card in the field, and we have to do it on the resolution of the effect. Rogue Doll, add back after being sent to the grave. There we go. On the resolution of an effect, that's exactly what we're doing. Pop. Trigger. Amblewell, Reborn. Now, is Masquerena good at all? Masquerena into Little Knight can't target the gimmick puppets on field. But if there is a rank up magic in the graveyard, that could be a good target for your Little Knight. This is very scary for Mobile X. Summon. Pop from the deck Kieran. Didn't pop Kieran. We're going to summon our Vata. Send our Vata to Reborn Garunix. How do we trigger the Kieran now? I don't understand. Am I missing something? How do we think we're triggering Kieran with Promethean? No, you cannot. You can't target the gimmick puppets. Uh-oh. I think we just missed our window to trigger the Kieran. How does it trigger it? Is he going to do this? This is what you think he's going to do? If your opponent special summons a monster, you can immediately activate this effect as long as the monster doesn't activate on summon. Do we play the rank 8? We don't. We don't. We don't play it. It looks like we set up for it, but we don't play it. We don't play it. Oh my goodness. I don't think this can be stopped. Hida? Pop Hida, summon Kieran. Oh, that was smart. That was actually good. I thought Kieran was the only non-target destroy that we could do. The Amble Whale is the other one, actually. That's smart. That was good. That was great. To pop your Kieran. Yep. Okay. Wow. That worked. That worked. That was incredible. Good job. We had that way to trigger the Kieran. Okay. Your own Amble Whale popped your own Kieran. That's crazy. All right. Let's keep on going. We'll do it again now. So you got rid of the first one, but what about the second one? You can't negate it. You can't target it. You can't Promethean Princess it. What do? We have the rank up magic force. Droll, you can't add from the deck. No more. Here's the thing. I don't need to add from my deck. Let's read the effect here. This Droll could stop this based on how this is worded. This states, it does not say draw one card, and if you do, destroy as many cards with counters as possible. They flipped the wording, meaning Droll does not stop this. Destroy as many monsters. If you do draw, we just don't draw. Then inflict damage. We don't inflict damage. We destroy, we don't draw, we don't inflict damage. But we could still attack directly. Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Whoop! The entire field. Full field destroy. Wipe the field. Don't draw. Don't inflict damage. Triggering the Machine X. Droll stops this. You're about... I feel like I just repeated it like 3 times. You're about to see that Droll does not stop this. Boom! Does that look like Droll stopped it? Are you crazy? Reborn. Oak. Reborn. I'll pop him again, mate. I'll do it again. Because Droll apparently stops me. Link Karibo, jump on the field in desperation. Dark Strings again. This was so smart for Mobile X. Link Karibo's not going to die. Link Karibo is surviving. Wipe it. Link Karibo. Gersu's going to go even with the Karibo. No way. 9,000 damage. Lethal damage. That is crazy. Holy moly. Link Kriba was supposed to stop this. Wow. 2-0 victory. Gimmick Puppet never went first. Second for both games. Absolute insanity. Hi, you are amazing. Good job, Mobile X. You are also amazing, my friend. Woo, good stuff. All around, both of you. That was great. I thought Mobile X lost his last chance to trigger the Kieran. He then found out another way to trigger the Kieran by some convoluted way of popping his own Link, trigger Amble Whale, pop his own card, then trigger the Kieran. That was great. Meta, weekly, deck list. Let's get to it. Top 16 breakdown. What? Labyrinth just had a good week. I don't know. I do not know where Labyrinth just came from. What the heck is that? Labyrinth is, kind of on the tier list here, tier 3, but sure, okay. Maybe the secret spice of Labyrinth has been discovered, and let's find it out right now. Ritual Beast, May back. We got that one-dimensional shifter. Anything crazy with the extra deck? Looking, we got the Super Poly, though. Okay, Super Poly and Ritual Beast. White Forest, Anderson Strife with the way to play White Forest, which apparently is not runic. Good work on this, my friend. We got Scourge of the White Forest. Nice. I gotta try this out. I have not played White Forest without runic. Kashtira. Amidamaru. Thank you. We have I'm Seti with the Kashtira. Then we have Snake Eye, May Key, 40 cards, tons of hand traps. Holy moly, that is a lot. We have the extra deck here. We on the Formula Synchron engine. Nice. Let's see what else we have here. Sprite. I thought you were Goblin Biker. Oh, no, you were Sprite. I remember. Okay, 60 card Sprite. Chris, good job. And then there is the extra deck. Okay. Orcust. Actual Orcust deck. Not Gimmick Puppet with random Orcust in it. L for N. 41 cards. Master Tau. This is interesting. This targets an illusion in the graveyard and then special summon it. Who is your illusion? You're reborning Nightmare Apprentice? Add an illusion? What's the thing? Do you link with this and then reborn Nightmare Apprentice? Is that the play? Huh? That's confusing to me. I don't know how this combo works. What's the illusion combo? Special search, normal summon, and then reborn Nightmare Apprentice? I guess that's it, right? Apprentice plus another card. Discard, special, search, normal, link to, reborn Nightmare Apprentice. Okay. Chimera. Packed with a super condensed deck. All right. We then have Voiceless Voice, Luke Tyler, top 4. Nice main deck. And the extra. We then have Yubel. We'll look at Gimmick Puppet last. It won the whole event. Double Curry Photon. The dude was ready to play against Gimmick Puppet with the Curry freaking Photon. There is the extra deck and the main. Double Solemn Judgment, Azure Rune, and the Curry Photons. What else we have? Snake Eye Fire King, 41 card. We got the Snake Eye Diablo Star in our Fire King version. And then there is the extra deck. Good job, Mobile X. And who's the other mad lad? Cybers. Cybers with the main deck Dimensional Barrier with one thrust, one D barrier. 40 cards. Okay. There's the extra. What else do we have here? We have then Labyrinth. What is going on here? Haas Drachin, 60 card Labyrinth. So this technically isn't just Labyrinth, it is Dinomorphia Labyrinth. We'll keep it under the same hood, though. Does that seem fair? Labyrinth, instead of calling it Dynamorphia, and we'll just call it Labyrinth. Shifter, the whole deck is royal, by the way. $180,000 deck. Haga, 40 cards. Looking interesting. We got the no transaction rollback here. Or there it is, there it is. I was thinking about the other card, the simultaneous equation. Only one of them got in the top cut, though. And that was Abomod. This. I want to try this because of the simultaneous equation cannons. Holy moly. I mean, this is the Abomod who plays branded usually. Playing this instead? Huh? Yeah. We are off-branded to play Labyrinth with the simultaneous equation cannons. That is so interesting. Okay. Nice. That tells me there's something to this. There's something to it. And then the winning deck. We won it all. High on Gimmick Puppet. Triple Gersu. Triple the Gersu. We got one Numeron Force, one Agent Chaos Force. Wow. I gotta try this out, Gersu. Good job, High. 45 cards, winning it all. And then there is the extra deck. No Orchist. Crescendo is just to search for a Dark Machine. Add to your hand one of your Dark Machines that is banished or in your deck. That's a very powerful search. Banished from graveyard to search? Jeez. And there you go. That is the Meta Weekly. Thank you for watching. We are out.